Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yeah, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yeah, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati, hey, yo. Johnny go to Yankton, Johnny go to Yankton, shut your left, Sahi, away, yo, hey, yo. Naba Sabakati.
We've been through a lot. The valleys of northern New Mexico are no stranger to deep, heartbreaking lows. Substance abuse, domestic violence, crime, neglected youth, neglected elders, mistreated culture, abused identities, abandonment, disconnection from ourselves and others. It's rough to be born in these conditions, and I cannot blame my parents. They did their best. It is not our fault to inherit this history. But what will we leave? What will tomorrow and our children inherit? Our responsibility is to mend yesterday's trauma, shame, isolation, oppression, and maladjustments. We do not ignore or dwell on the bad things that have happened to us. We acknowledge all of our history and stand on the shoulders of it. I am from the Pueblo of Pojoaque, and this is where my neighbors, my friends, my communities, my valleys, my hummingbirds, and my goat heads exist. The road's been tough, and it will be long. Today we recognize how far we've come, envision where we will go, and celebrate a culture of healing.
Hi, my name is Ralph Martinez. I was born and raised in Espanola, New Mexico. I graduated in 1996, and in 2001 I became addicted to drugs. I became addicted to cocaine and heroin in 2001. In 2006, I lost everything because of my addiction. I lost my family, I lost my home, I lost my self-identity, I found myself homeless. I lived underneath a bridge in Espanilla. I lived out by the Bosque area in Espanilla. I lived in makeshift tents, in abandoned buildings, abandoned cars, things of that sort, for 6 years. From 2006 to 2012 is when I was homeless. During that time, I went to rehab in San Diego. I went to rehab in South Florida. I went to rehab twice in Farmington. I went to rehab in Hernandez. And in 2012 was my last rehab at OI Recovery in Velarde, New Mexico. There was a lot of trial and error that happened between 2001 to 2012 to get me to the point of recovery. In 2012, I had already tried and failed so many different times that I knew what I was up against at that point. I was ready for recovery. I had always wanted recovery, but didn't really know how to get it. And that's where the trial and error came in. So in 2012, I did the 90-day program at OI Recovery in Velarde, and successfully completed the 90-day program. After my 90-day stay at OI, I found a job working at a local gas station in Espanilla. I was able to find a small apartment through Rio Arriba County, RACMOS. They helped me to find an apartment complex, a place to stay, and I started working. And I worked at the gas station for probably close to about a year and a half. After about a year and a half of working at the gas station, I found comfort in my sobriety. I felt that I was really foundationalized in my recovery, and I started looking at other things to do as far as career is concerned. I studied to get my commercial driver's license, my CDL, and I got my CDL. It took me about 4 months. After I got my CDL in mid-2014, I opened up a trucking business in Santa Fe called Martinez Trucking. I had the business for 2.5 years and sold it to a gentleman from Denver. When I sold my business in 2016, I started building a house. Actually, I started building my house in 2015. So by the time I sold my business, I was already starting to build my house. I was able to complete my house in the summer of 2016. I started working at Los Alamos National Laboratory in 2015, and I've been there now for 5 years. I hold multiple clearances, and things have been going good. I just recently opened up the first ever homeless shelter in Rio Arriba County and Espanilla Valley. It's called Espanilla Pathways Shelter, to help individuals that went through similar struggles like myself. I understand how easy, coming from the background that I come from, I understand how easy it is to fall into a situation and how hard it can be to get out of it. And at the end of the day, we all go through what we need to go through in order to get where we're going in life. And so I just want to congratulate everybody out there that has a recovery story. I want to send a shout out of hope and to those who might be still going through the struggle, and let you guys know that recovery is a reality.
Unpiakendi.
Recovery means having a family, being dependable for the people that I love and who love me, enjoying a sober life, being a good mom, sister, daughter, friend, keeping a steady job, celebrating recovery and NA, being a trustworthy person, and spending time with family. Most of all, not having to live my life in jail.
Recovery can be one of the hardest things to overcome. It takes a lot of willpower and courage. I myself have been 7 months sober, and it has been the best months of my life. I reconnected with my family, getting my life back on track, and finding myself again. I want to say to whoever is out there seeking recovery, you can do it. Our life matters.
You are not alone. We love you.
Recovery to me means choosing peace, self-love, and healing over self-destruction and chaos.
我就得唔記
Looking back as a child, I remember the insides of jails and rehabs around New Mexico. It wasn't odd to me to be visiting a jail on the weekends. In fact, as a kid, we were always excited to go because that meant we had cool presents that I was sure my dad made for us while he was there. We collected them like they were something to be collected, counted them, and compared them at the end of the day. It didn't faze me that the pile of bracelets that I still have shoved in my closet were souvenirs of alcoholism and drug addiction. At a time I became disheartened, discouraged, and even resentful. I didn't know what recovery was or ever believe in it. I hated what alcohol and drugs did to people. I hated that it took away from the people I loved. Until one person, and then two, and then three, and more proved that recovery was real. It was possible. I started to believe.
What it means to me is healing your body, mind, and soul. While healing your body, you can start helping other addicts and or non-addicts, family, friends, and even strangers. It may take years to recover, but in the end, it's worth it. No matter what, you are recovering over drugs, alcohol, any addiction, and slowly getting your strength back. It feels good knowing you're also sober-minded and now have a strong heart, mind, and soul.
Conéctate con tu familia.
Recovery to me is repairing the damages that you've done to yourself and your family, getting yourself together to have a better future and life, just to be a better role model and influence. Everything will start to fall in place once you start praying, start applying your time and energy to the court or whatever you have to do.
My name is Genevieve Gallegos. What recovery means to me is I have been able to humble myself and be honest with my family about my addiction. I have begun to rebuild my relationships with my siblings and working on being a better role model for my nieces and nephew. I spend more time talking with my immediate family and enjoy our conversations. There is still a lot more that I need to work on. But right now, my recovery has me in a place where I no longer feel alone. I didn't just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm recovered." This will be something I can never stop working towards.
No estás sola, te amamos.
Hi, my name is Tobal. Recovery to me means a choice you have to make daily in order to overcome addiction. Recovery is not black and white. There are hard days and easy days, but just because you slip doesn't mean that you failed. Recovery is something that you will never fully be complete.
Sangwa, Kuiwa.
We are addicted to escaping reality when we can't understand our own or our place in it. Recovery is knowing how strong you really are and that everyone is just like you. Then being inspired by that when you realize just how much others have overcome. I think recovery is something that you can learn, create for yourself, and teach to someone else.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm a LADAC. I'm a licensed alcohol and drug addiction counselor. I have been licensed for 10 years. I've been in this field for over 17 years, I want to say, at least. Experience in this field goes a lot deeper than that. I would say those 17 years plus 17 more, because that is how many years I spent using heroin and cocaine. I have been clean for 17 years now, and during those 17 years there's a lot of bad stuff that happens, a lot of jail time, a lot of overdoses, a lot of suicide attempts, thinking I would never be anything else but a drug addict. And I also made it to prison. Lost my husband to a drug overdose. I really thought that I could never have another life aside from using drugs. And here I sit as a substance abuse counselor, and it has given me a life that I never thought I could have. Being clean to me means I get to be a mom, I get to be a grandmother, I get to be a sister. I get to live a functional life. I'm a productive member of society, which is something I never imagined, hence all the suicide attempts. I was just tired of living. I was tired of hurting my family, my children, my parents. I was thinking they were going to find me dead in a ditch somewhere. And now I don't give them that worry. My mom has dementia, late stage 4, and I am able to take care of her now. So life after drugs is priceless. And it doesn't say that life's going to be just lots of barrels of fun. It's not. Life is hard. But as opposed to using drugs or being clean, life after drugs is wonderful.